how to compare two different architecture projects. So in this video we will try to understand two projects. One is the solo house designed by Piso von Elricusen and the second project is the Casa de Piedra designed by Tunon Architects, and we will try to understand the similarities between these two projects. So here this solo house is designed by Piso von and the Casa de Piedra is designed by Emilio Tunon. The area of the Casa de Piedra is somewhere around 484 square meter, whereas the area of the solo house is somewhere around 313 square meter. While we are comparing these two projects, the first house is in the exposed concrete, while the second is done in the exposed stone. In this video, we will try to understand that these two architects are very different, but somehow they follow the same principles to design their houses. These houses has created in two different contexts for two different clients and using two different kinds of materials. So let's compare these two projects, both houses, with the first designed by Piso von Elricusen in 2013 and the second house is by Tunon Architects designed in 2018. Both houses have similar cube proportion, but they look very different. One house is done in exposed stone while the other is done in exposed concrete. The site contexts are also very different. The solo house is surrounded by trees, whereas the Casa de Piedra has its own landscape and the water body. At first glance, these two projects seems very different, but let's take a closer look from the architect's perspective and try to decode the similarities between these two houses. So here, this is the plan of the solo house. The overall mass of the house follows a square geometry. On the left side of the plan is the first floor and on the right side is the ground floor. The ground floor also has a square geometry and includes the entrance to the house. Upon entering, you take a lobby, you turn and ascend a spiral staircase to reach the first floor. The center part of the house features a water body, and the main function of the house is arranged around its outer edges to take the advantage of the surrounding views. One side of the house contains a bedroom, another side has another bedroom, while the kitchen and dining area are on the other side and the living area is on the another side. On the other side, this is the house by Tunon Architects. The left plan is the first floor and the right plan is the ground floor. You enter the house from here, you park your car here, then you take the turn and enter into the living area, and then you take the another turn and you go to the spiral staircase which will lead you to the first floor of the house. And here also the overall mass of the house is square and the house is connected to the center part. So this is the overall geometry of the house. So now let's see the architectural language that these two houses have followed. The first principle that they both have followed is the 9 square grid. The house on the left is the solo house by Piso von Elricusen and the house on the right is the Casa de Piedra designed by Emilio Tunon. Both houses have square geometry. In the solo house, Piso and von uses the 9 grid system but emphasizes the center of the house by enlarging the central box to create hierarchy. Whereas in Casa de Piedra, all squares are in the same size. So here the first principle is the 9 square grid, and we are understanding the design principles. The specific details these architects have used is their personal choice. Piso and von added central hierarchy, whereas Casa de Piedra kept all the squares equal. These are the functional spaces that these architects have integrated into the houses. Now let's see the second principle here. Both houses emphasize the center by adding a spatial function to it. Both houses are in square proportion. In the solo house, there is a water body in the center and the main house is offset with the square. In the Tunon house, they also emphasize the center by adding a spiral staircase and an offset with the circular geometry. But the overall architecture principle is similar to emphasize the center. Now let's see the service area of the house. This is the floor plan and these are the main 9 grids. You offset this 9 grid and the space that you get is used for the services of the house, where you have all the toilets, kitchen, deck and wardrobe. A similar approach is taken by Tunon Architects. Here this is the main grid and then they also did the offset. The new space that comes from this offset is used for the services of the house, following the pinwheel system of the offset of the main 9 grid axis. They added all the toilets and wardrobes in the center offset of the house. So the principle of giving the offset is similar, but the execution is different. Both houses place the services in the center. Now let's consider the vertical circulation here. In the solo house, the center part features the spiral staircase made of concrete. In the Tunon house, the center staircase serves as the hierarchical center of the house, is made up of a metal, also incorporating a spiral design. Now let's examine how these houses utilizes the view of their context. In the solo house, situated on the mountain, the design ensures views in the all 4 directions. The elevation illustrates how the house is directly connected to the visual context of the site. Similarly, in the Tunon house, there are views of all the 4 directions. From the dining area to the living area to the bedroom, all spaces are looking outward. The elevation of the house features 3 large square windows providing visual connection with the context. Now let's examine the section of the house. The house on the left side is the Casa de Piedra, whereas the top part of the house is the main floor, featuring the living room, dining area, kitchen and bedrooms. Similarly, in the solo house, there are also 2 floors containing all the important functions on the house. So here the overall houses have a cube proportion. Both houses have similar 2 floors, with the top floor serving the main functional area and the ground floor housing the services of the house. Now let's consider the detailed proportion of this section. The overall massing of the Casa de Piedra is grounded, with the top part is being the main floor. Similarly, solo house appears to have a cantilever structure, also with the similar proportion. The solo house is situated on the sloping topography while the Casa de Piedra on the flat side. The lower floor in the both houses is dedicated to the staircase. Overall, the massing exhibits these kind of proportions. Now let's consider the similarities, specifically the cutouts in the house. Both houses have a square plan. In the solo house, the big cutout is in the center with the built mass surrounding it. Similarly, in Casa de Piedra, the house also has a cutout, although it is shifted. However, the architecture principles here is the same, adding a cutout within one of the cube in the 9 square grid. Now let's examining the circulation of the house. The overall mass of the both houses are square. In the solo house, the spaces are interconnected. The living area, dining area, bedrooms flow into each other. Similarly, in Casa de Piedra, all the spaces are interconnected. The dining area, living area, kitchen, bedrooms are interconnected to each other. Now let's discuss another very important detail, the roof floor plan. In the solo house and the Casa de Piedra, you can see that the overall house have a cube shape and are supported by the central core. On the roof of the solo house, they emphasizes the 9 grid boxes and horizontal beams to illustrate the grid system of the house. In Casa de Piedra, they also have a cube geometry and they emphasizes the 9 square grid. However, instead of going up, they go down. As you can see in the picture, they provided skylight for the natural light into the house, and they also have a roof garden. So here these houses are showing various similarities, but still they are very different in their architecture style. The solo house appears cantilever while the Piedra house looks grounded. The solo house emphasizes the upward movement, creating a floating house concept, whereas the Piedra house emphasizes the downward movement. Additionally, the material used and the context in which they have situated are very different. These factors contribute to the unique identity of each house. While your architecture principles could be similar to the other architects, but you have always your unique identity. So in this case study, the solo house and the Casa de Piedra demonstrate this perfectly. Despite having similarities in their architecture principles, their outputs are very different. Piso von Elrigosen and Emilio Tunon each follow their own principles, resulting in unique and original design. Both architects follow similar principles such as 9 grid system, offset of services, utilizing views from the context, emphasizing the staircase, interconnecting the spaces, adding the cutout for the natural light, and highlighting the importance of the central space. However, their unique interpretation and execution lead to the different outputs. The key takeaway is that while similarities may exist, it is the individual process and interpretation and application of these principles that lead to the distinct and original architecture creation. So this is the beauty of the architecture. Don't be afraid of creating your own architecture language and creating your own principles. It doesn't matter whether they are followed with the other architects also. You can have your own uniqueness into it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more such videos. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep hustling, keep smiling. Salute.